Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode on World Legends Endsieg, the Golden, episode 1, the Golden Reich. As we can clearly see, total hegemony from the German and Reich has laid waste to all of Europe, and the free resistance needs to have something happen now in order to free the world. Japan is already seeing its decline, as though it has all the means to gather all the resources it needs for the homeland. The more they take the resources, the more the populations get angry. And, of course, nothing good can come of that. Meanwhile, in Germany, the Axis reign supreme. But, unfortunately, the Axis pact is faltering. German and Italian relations have started breaking apart, and Germany has stated multiple times that Italy is a thorn in the German expansion, leaving Italy, Germany, and Japan to split the Axis. Italy forms the triumvirate between them, Spain, and Turkey to help survive the coming disaster. Meanwhile, Germany plans to starve out all of the Mediterranean, so they sailed to Spain and they commence Operation Atlantropa. They dam off the entire Mediterranean. This has some unintentional side effects, as you are about to witness the drying up of a lot of the coastline. Over the coming few years, the Mediterranean has started to dry up. The Adriatic, the Greek areas, Corsica and Sardinia now have a small land bridge, and Sicily is connected to the peninsula. Unfortunately for this means, of course, horrible things are bound to happen. In Reich Ukraine, things have already started to go worse, as the entirety of Crimea, built upon its water access, is starved of water. And with this, Spain already starts feeling some of the effects. Germany's plan to starve out the Mediterranean and eventually destroy the triumvirate without having to lift a finger shocks the West. So much so that as they send relief forces to Morocco, where they travel up through Spain. Italy has officially broken apart from Germany and has started accepting lots of Jewish people, migratories who escaped from the Reich. Italy promises them land, and as they sail, they march all the Jews to Levant, where it now becomes Israel. Israel is given independence and becomes a member of the triumvirate. The balance of power starts shifting as African colonies are not exactly popular anymore. With this, Cameroon, the Central African Republic, vote for their independence, and they gain it. With slim margin, Italy is forced to allow this to happen. They also allow the Sahara to choose their own fate, which leaves the Mali Empire, Niger, Togo, Italian Ivory Coast, which stays, and the Western African Federation. With this, most of these states become independent, along with Chad. Italy is prepared to survive this blow to their economy, as they have enacted trade partners with all of these newly free countries to allow them to keep their stability. However, disaster strikes from one of them. When the African Reichskommissariat, made up of multiple states, declares war on Cameroon. This is a swift victory, and it comes very easily. They immediately launch a campaign and strike up throughout the countryside. They start wrapping the coast, and eventually Cameroon is forced to capitulate and join the Reichskommissariat Mittelafrika. This is not good news. This development shocks the entire continent and those outside of it. The United States starts drawing up plans for a reconquest of Hawaii and Alaska. With the threat of Japanese imperialism on the rise, they wait for their time to strike. And their time to strike comes now. Indochina, always a hotspot for trying to gain its independence, formally declares its independence. With this, Mongolia and Inner Mongolia also go into open arms rebellions and merge to form the Mongol Khanate. This is an insulting blow to Japan, and as such, they put their entire military into readiness. Good lord. The Japanese call in all of their allies in strength, while these two gear up for war. With this, we have our first major rebellion. The island of Java and other surroundings are tired of being ruled by the Japanese, and as such, they declare independence, as well as the Malay Peninsula. With this, East Timor also declares independence and starts moving into the other side of Timor. New Japanica, or Papua New Guinea, also declares its independence. Japan is insulted by this act. Immediately, they rush troops into Mongolia, taking a lot of land. They work or to cut the nation in half and encircle this huge area. They start crushing in slowly around it while Mongolia attempts to fight back. They manage to push them back here and try to make a break for the pocket, but to no avail. The Japanese rebound and push. With this, Japan attempts an attack on Indochina, which goes not successful a lot. They land on the coast as well, but they are immediately kicked out. With this, island hopping and rebellions soon follow almost all of Indonesia. With this, the Indonesian and puppet government of Japan soon surrenders as its capital is destroyed. With this, China also goes into full-on open rebellion. Tired of their oppressed rule, they are forced to... Japan is now forced to fight multiple fronts. And it isn't good because the United States has now decided it's time. With the declaration of the illegitimate claim on Alaska, the United States drags itself into its first New Age conflict. This is a serious matter for the United States, and they will not take this lightly. With this, Canada also joins the US to make it easier to invade Alaska. Because not many Japanese troops are stationed in Alaska, it is an easy breeze for the American and Canadian joint force. Japan threatens the nuclear bomb that they got from Germany, but America also says they also have a nuclear bomb, and threaten to blow the small island to smithereens. Japan abstains from using the nuclear bomb. Immediately, most of Japanese Alaska is captured, and Japanese Alaska formally surrenders. With this, they take Hawaii easily and start working towards the Japanese mainland. They sail and keep fighting, and even to Iwo Jima. The continuation of the American-Japanese War has started, and it is not going well. With this, most of China quickly falls. The Philippines, and they work up with American Canadian forces and free Mongolia. With this huge pocket, they rush in a bunch of troops and slam them through, cutting them off, causing a mass surrender. Japan, unfortunately, sees that its demise is almost imminent, but continues to fight. They're pushed all the way out of Mongolia, and they have now started a campaign from outside of Mongolia. They do not approach into Siberia, as they know that it is not worth their time. With this, Japan realizes that the end is near. Immediately, Americans do make a landing in the far east of Siberia. They work down to the peninsula, where they stage a landing point. One of the greatest landing operations since D-Day has begun, where they breach Sakhalin Island defense forces. They managed to link up after lots of brutal fighting and continue. They use the bridge of Sakhalin Island to immediately make it to the mainland, where the Americans and their superior technology continue to score more victories. In all this time, Japan has not exactly progressed its technology much. and America, knowing that it has to be the beacon of savior to this entire world and hope, has begun to rapidly industrialize its military beyond anything the world has ever seen. Their technology far surpasses what they originally had in our timeline. Sakhalin Island falls. Well, North Sakhalin Island falls, and the South is soon to see the same fate. There is a huge bridge that leads from here to here, and it's one of the biggest Japanese projects ever. Unfortunately, the Japanese blew up the bridge. But no matter. They still score more victories, and they start working down the coast. And the Americans start working down the coast. They realize they cannot keep fighting the Japanese for long. Japan has already started to see their own victories taking root. They managed the push in to Mongolia and take out an entire battalion and several others. America doesn't have much of a choice anymore. So, with a heavy realization, America has to strike first. With American spies and intelligence in Japan, they know where their nuclear arsenal is hidden. The nuclear arsenal is hidden here, in a remote area that's only accessible by the government. This whole strip right here is for government property only, and is cut off at this gate. America flies their bomb from Sakhalin. Their journey takes a while, having to stray outside of Japanese airspace to make sure they're not shot down. The plane reaches touchdown, and the bomb goes off. But because of the stockpiled 5 nukes that Japan has, the blast is much worse, and it contaminates a large amount of the ocean. With this, America lands one on Tokyo and Nagasaki. Japan announces its formal surrender. Realizing that the end has come and there's nothing left to be done. Immediately, all Japanese states are to be freed immediately and have them do as they wish. Manchuria and China are instantly united. And Korea is gained independence. Siberia gets their land back here, and Japan is occupied directly by the Americans. The Americans have won a strategic victory over the Japanese, one that was desperately needed. As such, they retake Hawaii. I meant not Hawaii. They retake Alaska and Hawaii, which is still not been cleaned up from the radiation. They immediately take Brunei as a military base. East Asia is freed. But unfortunately, Germany has also been busy. Coups in Finland forced their hand to join the Reich's Commissariat program, losing their autonomy. Sweden is one of the last remaining. And due to some mistrust between the puppet of England and Germany, they decide to take matters into their own hands. And the Reich immediately occupies Cornwall. And with this, they also occupy the Strait of the Pas-de-Calais. Germany's Reich is expanding at a rapid rate. Their economy is staying afloat slightly. And with this, they have the gall to attack Switzerland. Switzerland knew that this day would come, but unfortunately, it is no match for the German armies. Immediately, Germany steamrolls into the country. Immediately, Switzerland enacts its plan to divide itself, and they immediately divide themselves into the French portion of their nation, the Italian portion of their nation. With this, with a sigh of defeat, Switzerland ceases to exist as an independent country. More a mere thought. And now, the Reich grows. With Switzerland being removed from the picture, the situation in Europe is becoming much more dire. America sends convoy units over to Scotland, and via civilian boats they escape from. They use the Reichskommissariat to escape into Finland, in which they sail the border to Sweden. Sweden then takes the escapees and sails them through here as trading ships. They make it to Scotland, and then they're home free to make it all the way to the European hideout in Jamaica and Hispaniola. Trade has now hit the fan even more, as this area around Istanbul has dried up entirely. Turkey is understandably pissed at this and declares for Germany to release the dam, making the water flow back in. Germany objects this idea. As such, Turkey declares war on a member of the Unity Pact. Drawing in all of this portion. Germany does not see it necessary to fight in this conflict. Turkey, however, has been improving their military drastically and have become a world power at this point. They immediately steamroll upwards and capture Sofia within a few days. They make landings in ports and link them together. With this, Bulgaria and Romania surrender, and Hungary opts out of the war. This is a slap in the face to all of them, because now they know how Germany treats them. They're expendable. They're not worth it. And this is exactly what Turkey wanted to get through their head. With the taking away of a little bit of land from Bulgaria, they both Bulgaria and Romania agreed to join the Triumvirate, while Hungary stays loyal to their Axis member, to their Unity Pact leader. That will be all that will happen in this day and age, except for the fact that Germany has started operation in Golden Reich, where they plan to use all of Africa to mine out all the gold resources there, to remake Germania into a golden city. Yeah, the most prestigious city in the world, with marble and gold to lead its way. This will be all for World Legends Endsieg. And until next time, see you all.